Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you in another video. All right, so that did not work out the way I was hoping it would. Their ATM was not giving money out. Just like literally no cash in the ATM. So the problem also ran into was when you try to run a transaction with them, if you like say purchase something, the maximum they allow you to get out of your GR is $40. I need 62. So that did not work out, but I have like just enough if I take everything out of my wallet to get to like 62. But it's like 62.34 or something. It's just like, it's not working out. I'm not overly upset for one reason. I didn't really want to take that much money out of my GR. So the fact that they only allow me to do 40 is like, oops, that kind of sucks. Not really, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm going to go down here and do my due diligence to deposit what I have into the account and probably call T-Mobile and just say, hey, I can't give you the extra 50 cents, but I do have a $62 deposit to make for you guys, and the bill is like $62.50 or something like that. You know what I mean? But they're not going to run it unless it's the exact amount in there. So I'll have to call them and just say, hey, I'll put down 62 even. Let me slide on a 50 cent for a week or whatever. Like, I hate to like go through all this for nothing, but I think that's like the best I can actually do. So I ain't worried about it, man. These are the type of things you gotta go through, man, when you're broke, when you're poor. So I am, and I'm not ashamed of that, as maybe most people would be. I talk about my problems like no problem at all. So that's really what it is, man. I got a nice little savings account with a little something in it, but I'm trying to be like ridiculously disciplined as to not touch that. So I live more poor than I actually am, if I'm being honest with y'all. But that's the only way you really help yourself is by saving your money. On this level, you got to try to save your money even where there is none to save. You got to go without certain things and live much poorer so that you can actually see some build of your finances. So based on my budget specifically. So that's really what it is, man. I'm not really upset right now. I'm just a little bit perturbed at the fact that they wouldn't allow me to try to trick the system. I was essentially asking the guy, hey, if I do an exchange, can we trick the system into allowing me to try to extract another $40? And I guess he was saying that it doesn't work like that. And I didn't give him any hell for it. He was like, we can charge you this twice for the same item. I'm like, nah, I'm not going for that. But we could try to do an exchange and see if it'll reset the system. And he's like, no, because you've already extracted 40. Unless you purchase something else on a new transaction, the maximum amount it will allow you to do is $40. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to purchase nothing else. I really don't. I'm gonna just take my chances and move on. I'm not playing that game with them. So that's really what it is. I don't know why they only allow $40 to be extracted from your own GR account. I guess that's the only amount of money they're willing to commit to per transaction as a company to target. But they should up it to 60 like most companies do. I usually see the option is usually like 60 or 80 with like Ralph's and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I don't know. That might be my best bet is to try to stop at another place. But like that was the purpose. I didn't want to purchase nothing else. I could have did that there. But yeah, I don't really need a lot to make my quota as it pertains to what I need to do here. So it is what it is, man. I'm not worried about it. I let God sort all the particulars out. I'll take care of what I can control. But what I can control is taking the $58 or whatever I have in my wallet and depositing it, and then adding that to like the little $3 that's left in the account. And I'll call T-Mobile and say, hey, let's run that transaction minus $1 and to keep my phone on. And I'm pretty sure they'll go for that. Whatever. Did the best I can, man. I don't know what to say. Things can be unnecessarily difficult on this level sometimes, man. But like I said to you guys, man, I just control what I can control and leave the rest alone. But yeah, man, the focus outside of my own life is what's going on with ICE. It's the same thing we were saying in the video leading into me walking into Target. It's just like, man, ICE is, they're going around unnecessarily causing trauma and cruelty, sanctioned by our president and the people behind him to just have full carte blanche to do whatever unnecessary stuff to accomplish whatever their goals are. This human trafficking goal that they have, which essentially is what it is. And it's kidnapping people, taking them to unknown places. I heard something that was very disturbing on that front. Essentially what was read was that these folks in Minnesota have been, beating these people, some of these documented workers, or some of these people they're kidnapping, they're beating them, and if they are being injured, they leave them in a park. Like, there was this one guy who was found in a park with a cracked skull. There's another guy who was found with like a broken arm. Like, if they become ridiculously injured from the beatings that they're giving these people, they just leave them in some random park in Minnesota. And mind you, this is Minnesota in January, so it's cold as hell. Like, it's unreasonable cold that these people are being left in parks, just left there to die, basically. It's not that like they left them with a cell phone or anything like that to call anybody. Just so happen to see people driving by, seeing a random person in a park looking like they're not doing too well, bleeding or whatever. And from what I understand, it's been different parks that they're leaving these people in. And I just want to say, like, it's the same thing that I ended my last video saying. There's a reaction to this energy for these officers who are engaging in this behavior. The people who are giving you these orders, they can't necessarily be touched. Ain't nobody about to run up on Donald Trump, touch him no kind of way. It's going to be you officers. Trained officers. Your training is going to become necessary to protect yourselves and your families on days when you're not thinking about what you did in this era. It's just like anybody else that do things to people, man, violent things to people. You don't know when it's going to come, but it's coming. You're going to always have to look over your shoulder for the rest of your life, knowing that it could come your way. Somebody knows what you did, and they're not going to catch you when you're with your dukes up and all of your gear and all of that. When you got your men around you. No, they're going to catch your ass when you in a park somewhere with your little daughter. That's when they're going to catch you. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't think people really understand. Not fully. Some of them are following orders, and they're not. They're so above reality as it pertains to the energy that comes their way, and they believe so much in how protected they are by one another and by the president. But they don't really understand that, like, some of these people you hurting, they got kids who are going to grow up tomorrow. They got people that are going to know who you are for whatever reason. It's 2 or 3 degree separation from everybody in this damn country. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows you. A lot of y'all thinking y'all mask is going to save you. And this is what I tell many people who rob people wearing masks and stuff like that. Your body build in 2026 is a lot easier to detect. You can cover your face, but you walk a certain way. Your arms are built a certain way. Your hips sway a certain way. People can figure out who you are without you having a mask on, buddy. With your mask on, rather. People can tell who you are in this ever-surveillanced world. So with your little mask, you got a mask, but somebody recognized how you walk. Somebody recognized your neck shape and your head shape. Somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody gonna recognize you. And then it's just a matter of you being ready at all times. So that's what I gotta say. A lot of y'all have been doxxed. People know who you are. And there ain't no time limit on get back. Just like people say in the streets, ain't no time limit on that. You don't know when they're gonna come for you. They're coming. You just don't know when. You did what you did, and you got to deal with what comes with that. The question is, in what form is it coming your way, and will you be ready when it does? And a lot of y'all gonna be like, I was just following orders. Yeah, that's cool. All right. A lot of gonna be like, man, I did that when I was in my 30s, man. I'm not even that person anymore. You're probably not. That's all right. Like, that ain't gonna stop whatever from happening. You didn't show no mercy. You decided you want to collect a check and follow orders. And there's something that comes with that. Y'all want to follow, American this, America that. Some of y'all gonna, and this is the truth, some of y'all gonna grow out of these behaviors. Some of y'all gonna realize it's all the wrong you were doing. Some of y'all may even be reformed someday and fight for the same cause that ultimately you're enacting against. I've seen these things before. I used to be a bad guy, now I'm a good guy. Yeah, but that bad thing you did, it's gonna come get you when you're a good guy. It's gonna come get you when you're sitting back trying to raise a family and not thinking about that. It's gonna come back when you finally realize how appalling your behavior was. That's when the devil come knocking on your door for what you did when you didn't care. That's the cruelty of the enemy. He ain't gonna come get you when you deserve it. He gonna come get you when you least expect it, when you no longer feel you deserve it, when everything is going well in your life, when you got so much to look forward to, or when you're not well enough to defend yourself. That's when he come knocking. That's when the get back come. And it's like, I don't think people really understand that, or I don't think they believe that, or I don't think nobody's telling them this. So let me be the one to tell you. If you go around harming people, don't think that the get back isn't coming. Don't think that the get back's gonna come when you're ready for it. When you're most braced, fully armed and fully protected, and all of your unapologetic energy, none of that, that's not when it's coming. It's coming when you're at your weakest. When you've already been beaten down by bereavement several times over, and you've lost all that you had and all of that, then it comes for your ass. When you're at your weakest and lowest point, then it comes knocking. When you're sitting back enjoying yourself on vacation, then it comes knocking. Because that's the cruelty of the enemy that you ultimately doing all this in the name of. A lot of y'all ICE agents, man. Y'all the same color with the same accent of the people that you are rounding up. Only difference between you and them is you have paperwork and you work for a government that wants to use you to harm others. You think that's a new psychological tactic? They did the same thing to the slaves. They used slaves to catch slaves. They're always looking for a snitch. These are psychological tactics that are supposed to diminish and to belittle your entire people. Your people, the people that they sending you to go get, they intend to harm you and your kids the same way that they intend to harm them. Why would you ever sign up for that? Why would you sign up to help white supremacy round up your people? Like, some of y'all really been raised wrong. Some of y'all got so much hatred in your heart for your own people and for your own selves, and are just influenced by individuals that don't mean you any good in such a depraved way that you're allowing yourself to be a weapon against yourself. You're allowing these people to weaponize you against your own people. It's despicable how I see so much of that going on in so many different, not just in the Spanish race, but in ours too. I mean, black people are used to hound black people, to put down black people with their voices and stuff like that. Black people think they can align with white supremacy and find favor or get some perks, or I don't know what it is, but it ain't that. It ain't that. Whatever it is, it's not what you think. Whatever it is they promise you, it ain't for your betterment that they do anything. If they intend to sick you on your own people, believe me, they don't think nothing of you, just like they don't think nothing of the person they sicking you on. Or whatever your plan is, they have no problem stepping on it, just like they don't have no problem stepping on the person you stepping on in the name of them that happens to look like you. And a lot of y'all don't care because you're not smart enough in a lot of cases to see the angles. You're too brainwashed and too self-hating to actually see where this is a problem for you. and your family and people that you're going to care about tomorrow if you don't care for nothing today. Oh, I'm just collecting a check. I'm just trying to do what I can for my country. This ain't your country. If this was your country, they wouldn't be trying to round up your people. But them ain't my people because I got my papers. You're an idiot. That's all that tells us, is that you're a self-hating idiot and that you're exactly what they need you to be so that you can destroy your own people and put trauma in your own kids. Trauma in your own race's kids, man. Seeing Spanish-speaking people with heavy-ass accents and brown skin, traumatizing Spanish-speaking people with heavy-ass accents and brown skin. This is in the name of what? In the name of white supremacy? In the name of America? Are you an idiot? Are you stupid? The answer is yes. You're idiots, man. All of y'all who are doing this is stupid, bro. You're not intelligent. Your IQs is low and it shows. It's the God's honest truth. You're not smart. Because if you were smart, you would understand that this is obviously something that's not for the betterment of anybody that looks like you. Least of all you, of whom they allow to be hated by his own people, as they weaponize you against your own people, and you're willing to. Don't you see how that's meant to make you look bad in the eyes of people that look like you? In the name of what? People that hate you. People who hate people that look like you. And so I guess you're the exception, right? You're the exception because you're willing to do their bidding. So I guess they're going to love you and hate the rest of them. You're going to be the only one they love, right? If you think that's how that works, then you're as stupid as I'm saying you are. It fits what I'm saying in regards to saying that you're a low IQ entity. You gotta be stupid to think this makes any damn sense. I'm just doing a job. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're instilling fear, terror, and separating families of people that are from your own countries in a lot of cases. People who are likely your cousins in a lot of cases. You are doing the bidding of an entity that means you harm. And you're doing it for little to no pay. And little to no guarantees. Because when people start getting back at y'all asses, the first thing they're going to want to do is beat up on you. I'm waiting for the story of the ICE agent who's off duty, who ultimately gets taken down by ICE. Because it's coming. Since they're chasing everybody, no matter if you got paper or not, if you brown, they're going after your ass. It's just a matter of time before they take down one of their own. I'm waiting on that story. That one's coming. Believe me, it's coming. One of these stupid ICE agents that is either black or brown is going to eventually be taken down by ICE in a case of mistaken identity. Watch, it's coming. Just wait on it. Because when you catch people indiscriminately, when you go after people indiscriminately, you're going to definitely run into some friendly fire. You're definitely going to end up getting somebody who's on your side. You're going to definitely end up getting somebody who you don't intend to. It's just a matter of time. Hey, buddy. What's up? That indiscriminate hatred, no good. That indiscriminate, I'm going after whoever who looks a certain way, as I've said a million times on this channel, it don't vet people properly. Bad things are going to come from that. Things you don't intend to do are going to come from that. And I'm telling you, Israel, who's behind a lot of this, doesn't care for anybody but their own. They think of everybody as goy. And because of it, anybody that they use, they have no problem leaving exposed or leaving mistaken or leaving making decisions that ultimately hurt themselves. They move just like the devil they serve move. Anybody that work for them, they want to see destroyed. Anybody that work for them, they want to see exposed. You can't gain no favor with them. They don't care for nothing. They don't even care for themselves, not really. It just becomes a situation where people are moving in a certain way. that doesn't speak to the reality and the understanding of how they're being used, or what the objectives of those they work for are, and essentially what ultimate harm could come from playing those games with those people against your very own people. They're just not smart enough to know better than to do this stupid stuff. They're brainwashed in such a way that they can't think their way through, and it's harmful to them. Very harmful to them. As a person of color, I just find myself just really disgusted with what I see there. It's disgusting. Seeing brown and black tackle down and pull away brown and black from brown and black families in the name of white supremacy, so that someone who doesn't look like you, who don't know you, who don't care for you or your people, can feel accomplished in doing so. That's essentially what you're doing it for. So that somebody who don't think nothing of you can live out their dreams of using you to harm your own people. I cannot stress how disgusting it is seeing black and brown ICE agents, bro. There's nothing more disgusting than that to me. It is one of the most disgusting things in the world right now, man. Honestly. It is disgusting. Going after their own people indiscriminately. Whether you got paperwork or not, they take you down. They put you through brutal demonstrations. They're instilling fear, using tactics, using people's kids to smoke them out. Just different stuff like that. These are tactics of an evil entity. And I don't doubt that there are evil people amongst these races. Brown people who serve Satan openly. Satanist entities that do this for that purpose. I think that might be a good portion of what you're seeing there. I'm not certain, but I don't know how else you convince somebody to do this stupid shit, if not for something inherently evil in them that they're devoted to, passionately, which wants to move with the chaos of the enemy. That makes sense to me. A lot of these brown ICE agents, they Satanists. They serve the devil. And if in that case, they don't have no problem destroying their own people because they hate everything. They hate everybody. The more chaos and confusion and pain they can cause, the more betrayal they can instill in the world with their essence, the better. If that's what they're on, then of course that adds up. I'd rather one of those people tell me that than to tell me that they're just trying to collect a check, or to tell me that they believe that the borders need to be secured, or some stupid white supremacist rhetoric. Because that's literally all it is white supremacist rhetoric. I hear Hamas narrative when I hear that shit coming out of anybody. It's the same damn spirit behind it both. It's wanting to justify some evil with some rhetoric that doesn't even add up if you do a little homework. A narrative that they can get behind that can justify all the awful things and all that fear and terror they're trying to instill in people. That's all that is. And just because you label somebody something does not mean that is a reflection of their character. Just because you say they're evil doesn't mean that they've literally done anything at all that's evil. It's white supremacist rhetoric. That's all that is. Rhetoric. Empty words that mean nothing. They're not reflected in anything you see. That ultimately don't prove anything or represent anything that is proven. And I tell you, man, I'm at a point where I'm tired of it personally. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm at a point in my life where I call it out. I'm tired of it. It gets to a point where you just got to ask yourself, who do you want to be? A lot of y'all black ICE agents and brown ICE agents, Y'all have kids. Maybe your self-hating energy made it so that some of them kids, maybe you had them kids with somebody that ain't your race. Maybe you hate yourself so much that you found somebody that don't look nothing like you to have kids with the intention of just drowning out your people. But just the same, your kids are biracial because they your kids. They're subject to experience certain things that you, as a brown or a black person, could potentially face. Ironically enough, with your walk of life being as it is, are putting people through. The same things that you're doing could happen to your kids. You call yourself a good parent? Some of y'all probably are deadbeat parents. Some of y'all don't care nothing about your kids. With that same devilish energy that you use to inspire you to round up your own people, you probably abandon your kids too. Wouldn't shock me. That would be on brand for you. That's what I think of these brown ice agents and black ice agents. That's exactly what I think of them. I think they probably abandon their kids. They probably beat their wives. That's what I think. Probably betray their hoods if they're from something. They probably snitches. People who tattletale as children. I think the worst of these people, I'm telling you, whatever it is, probably steal money out of old ladies' purses. Like, that's what I think of these people. That's exactly what I think of them. Because you, in all of your experiences in life as a person of color, decided to be someone who continues to make life harder on your own people. Try to be the enforcer of that bad energy that some other race has for your own people. You're the weapon they choose to use against your own people. And you look yourself in the mirror and you don't see no shame. You get up every day, you put on that uniform, and you say you're collecting a check and doing something service to this country. You ain't doing no service to this country. The only service you're doing is displaying that white supremacy has a stranglehold on your spirit. And as a result, you are a weapon against your own people. You ain't doing no service to this country. That's pretty much my point of view, man. I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. They're just filthy people to me, man. Individuals who round up their own people and instill terror in their own people, talk down on their own people. They're the most disgusting amongst us. And I think that a lot of the worst stuff in the world is probably done by those same people. When you look at people who are touching kids, beating kids and all that, I think these are probably the same type of people. These are the same ones. You look in their hard drive, you're going to find all types of cheat CP and all different types of stuff like that. I think it's probably these type of people. I really do believe that. Because at the end of the day, they're already displaying a certain discarding of one's own reputation and discarding of one's own self, and a certain hate for that for which is innocent and pure, that I just imagine it bleeds into other areas of their lives. It stands to reason why you would. It stands to reason that that is a reasonable thought, given what you're seeing them do in this regard. I'm over it. A lot of y'all need therapy too. It just comes down to people needing therapy. They hate their dad. Their dad happens to be brown, so as a brown person who hates their dad, now they want to round up all the brown people because every man they see that looks brown is their daddy that they freaking hate. I think that drives a lot of this too. And these people hate their mothers. And so when they see a elderly Hispanic lady, they Hispanic males, they think they're getting back at their mom. They're being something that their mother would ultimately despise, and that's a win for them. People who just honestly need therapy, man. I think that makes up a lot of what we're seeing too in these brown ice agents, black ice agents. They're trying to disgrace their own families for the sake of the trauma that's been instilled in them by people. who they call family or whatever. I think that can inspire a lot of this. Broken people trying to break people that look like them. People who hate themselves, so they're trying to break people that look like them in hopes of not being the only ones in misery, just like the Satan they serve, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Discipline your kids, man. I know we're in an era where we don't hit our kids. We don't like hitting our kids. We think it's the worst thing in the world to spank a child. I don't know if you're not putting more trauma into a child, if you don't, restrain from extending a hand. But in the Bible that I've read, it says, spare the rod, spoil the child. And I think a lot of these people were children that were spared the rod. While they were trying to keep from instilling terror in these children by way of spankings, they turned those children into people who instill terror in other people as they grow up to be grown people. A lot of y'all think it's a perfect science to where I don't hit my kid, but I put him on timeout. If that kid doesn't understand that there can be pain for the consequences of the behaviors that they do, especially consequences that instill pain in others, they can grow up to think it's okay to instill pain in others. It's not okay to just do whatever you want. Sometimes you can get hit in the mouth for some of the stuff that you do. Sometimes people can knock you over the head for cheating them. When you go out and you snitch and tattletale, it can cause you bodily harm or worse. Some things need to be disciplined, and sometimes people need to correlate pain, physical pain, with certain behaviors as to deter their minds from thinking it's okay to go to those behaviors. And if you're sparing them that could be a problem. And so a lot of us are so far leaning on one side to where if you hit a child, you're abusing the child. It's the worst thing in the world for a child. There's a certain balance that is lacking in regards to leaning a little further to say, yo, if you don't spank that child is going to go out and spank somebody else in a different way, because there's no consequences for them going around hitting people that they can relate to being necessarily deterring in their heads. If all they think the worst thing that's going to happen to them is they're going to get sit in timeout, they're not going to care. They can handle that. That doesn't hurt. It might be a little annoying, but it doesn't hurt. But if they relate those behaviors to getting spanked on their bottom, or welts across their arms, or getting smacked in the chest or whatever, yeah, that hurt, that stung. And I don't think I want to do that because that hurt. It's just like touching fire. I ain't going to touch that fire if I've been burnt before. I know that's hot. Nah, that hurt. I remember now. That hurt. And so this is what I'm saying to people. I don't think enough of that is being put into consideration. And what you're seeing is a lot of people who come from that era where parents were deterred from ever spanking their children, and they grew up to be brown and black ICE agents. You see what I'm saying? Quite literally. Now, there are circumstances where certain parents shouldn't be spanking children because they don't know how to do it in a way that makes any sense. They start abusing kids. They start beating the hell out of them. They start leaving them all types of horror. I get that. That's too far on one side. But can we find some damn balance? Because some of these people who are reacting to the terror are not hitting their kids at all, and they grow up to be terrorists. And if you would have instilled enough physical pain, enough, whatever that word would be, enough, not too much, enough in them, it would have gotten them early enough in life to know, hey, if I do this, I can get hit. If I do this, something hurts. I don't like pain. I don't like that. I don't like being disciplined by mommy in a painful way. Let me not do this. And they're instilling them some understanding that with certain things they say can come physical pain, so that when they're out in the street in the real world, they're not running their mouth without expecting that something that could physically hurt potentially come in response to that. Because that's what I'm seeing is a lot of people who were not hit as children at all. Parents may have had good things in their hearts when considering how to discipline their children or lack thereof, but then the consequences of not disciplining their children then come back around in the form of what we're seeing today. And you get grown people hurting other people without any concern for consequence. Grown people betraying all sense of love for self and family and people because they ain't concerned about no consequences. They ain't never been hit. That fear wasn't instilled in them early enough in life for them to have an instinctual nature about refraining from certain instincts that they may have to do things that would ultimately inspire such. When we go too far out of balance, you usually leave room for certain things that are undesirable. When you go too far one way or another, you usually leave room for things that are not great. There has to be some balance. That's all I'm saying. And as it pertains to the era behind us that raised a lot of these 30 and 40-year-olds right now, the emphasis was in balance in the sense that we must never hit a child for the sake of the instances where people were abusing children. Leaving no balance to understand that some hitting, some discipline, physical discipline, is a good deterrent to behaviors that are most definitely needed to be deterred against. And if you don't believe that, then you've likely raised somebody who is part of the problem. If you don't believe that, you've likely somehow, through what it is that you've promoted in this regard, given birth to a lot of the lack of discipline in the people and the grown people that we're seeing and some of these young people that we're seeing right now. And I think that gives birth to a lot of this stuff that is despicable in nature. I think that's giving birth to a lot of the betrayal that we're seeing in the world today. I think that gives birth to a lot of what we see that ultimately gives birth to genocide and trauma. These people were not disciplined properly by their daddies and their moms. Bdf 44, I thank you all for watching.